In review number 8, we will take another look at fractions, decimals, and mixed numbers. We will take a look at the importance of being able to compare fractions with the same denominator and with different denominators. And we will also take a look at why it's important to be able to convert fractions to decimals, decimals to fractions, and into mixed numbers as well. And finally, we will take a look at how to fill in missing numbers on a number line. There are two kinds of fractions. A proper fraction has a numerator that is smaller than the denominator. For example, 1/4 is a proper fraction. The other kind of fraction is called an improper fraction, and that's where the numerator is larger than the denominator, which means that the fraction is greater than 1. For example, 4/4 equals 1. 5/4 is an improper fraction, and it equals 1 and 1/4. A mixed number contains a whole number and a proper fraction. For example, 2 3/4 is a mixed number. Here's how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction. Let's take the mixed number 2 3/4. Take the denominator 4, multiply it by the whole number 2, and add the numerator 3, and you get 11. 11 what? 11/4. That's the improper fraction, and here's how you see it using pictures. So, to summarize, the mixed number 2 3/4 is equal to the improper fraction 11/4. Let's take another look at the math calculations. We go from 2 3/4 into the improper fraction 11/4 by taking the 4 as the denominator of 3/4. We multiply 4 times the whole number, in this case 2, and then we add the numerator, in this case 3, and we get 11, but it's 11/4. So denominator times whole number plus numerator is the equation you use to move from a mixed number into an improper fraction. Now take a look at how to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. Let's start with the improper fraction 11/4. Another way of writing that is 11 divided by 4. 11 divided by 4 equals 2 with a remainder of 3/4, and that is your mixed number equivalent, 2 3/4. So remember the equation to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. Simply take the numerator, divide it by the denominator, and you'll have your mixed number. Here's the review of equivalent fractions. Let's start with two circles that are the same size. One is divided into fourths, and the other is divided into halves. If we take a piece from each circle, you can see that 2/4 from the yellow circle equals 1/2 from the blue circle. So 2/4 equals 1/2. And here is the mathematical proof. If we take 2/4 and divide the numerator and denominator by 2, you get 1/2. In other words, you simplify 2/4 into 1/2, but they are equivalent as the picture shows. Here is another example of equivalent fractions. The green rectangle is cut into thirds, and the purple rectangle is cut into sixths. When you take 2/3 of the green rectangle, they are equivalent to 4/6 of the purple rectangle. And here's the mathematical proof. 2/3 times 2/2 equal 4/6. In other words, 2/3 and 4/6 are equivalent fractions. When you multiply 2/3 by 2/2, you keep the same value because 2/2 is equal to 1. So it's like multiplying 2/3 by 1. It still equals 2/3, but it is written as 4/6. 2/3 and 4/6 are equal. Here are other equivalent fractions. 1/3 equals 2/6, and 1/3 also equals 3/9. 1/2 equals 2/4, and it also equals 4/8. 1/5 equals 2/10. Can you find other equivalencies in these diagrams? Let's take a look at how we compare fractions. For example, let's compare 1/3 and 2/8. They have different denominators, so the first thing we need to do is create an equivalent fraction for each of the fractions using the same denominator. So we take 1/3 and 2/8, and we think, well, a common denominator would be 24. So 1/3 times 8/8 equals 8/24, and 2/8 times 3/3 equals 6/24. Now compare the numerators. Well, 8 is greater than 6. Therefore, 8/24 is greater than 6/24, and 8/24 equals 1/3. So 1/3 is greater than 2/8. And we can see this if we look at a picture that compares 1/3 and 2/8 along the blue dotted line. Here are some very simple fraction and decimal equivalencies. 1/4 equals 25/100. 2/4 equals 5/10, or 51/100. 3/4 equals 75/100. 4/4 equals 1. If we cut the circle into 10 sections, here are some fraction and decimal equivalencies based upon 10 equal parts. 5/10 is written as 0 and 5/10. 6/10 is written as 0 and 6/10. I think that changing decimals to fractions is the easiest of all. Just say the decimal and write what you hear. For example, 0 and 1/10 is written as 1/10. 0 and 1/100th is written as 1/100th. 0 and 12/100ths is written as 12/100ths. 3 and 25/100ths is written as 3 and 25/100ths. Number line problems are the number one reason why you need to be able to change fractions to decimals, change decimals to fractions, write improper fractions and decimal numbers as mixed numbers, and write mixed numbers as improper fractions and decimal numbers. Let's take a look at an example of a number line problem. In any number line problem, the first thing you must do is figure out the scale or the unit value. In this number line, there are 10 units between each whole number. Therefore, each unit is worth 1/10. You can see that point A is 7.5 units from 0. So it equals 75/100ths, or written as a fraction, 75/100ths. Point B is 22 units from 0, so it is written as 2 and 2/10. Point C is 15 units from 0, so it is written as 1 and 5/10. Now you match up points D, E, and F with the number represented on the number line. Here are some hints. Point D is 3 units from 0. Point E is -5 units from 0. And point F is 26 units from 0. Let's see how well you did. Let's take a look at one more example of a number line. First step is to figure out what the scale is. What are the unit values between the whole numbers? Well, there are 4 sections between the whole numbers. So that means each unit is 1/4, or 0 and 25/100. In summary, these are the concepts that we reviewed in review number 8, fractions, mixed numbers, and decimals.